consequences. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is really what we are experiencing at the university as problems with competency-based education. Pre-exposure to content is a big problem. Or a friend comes in and writes an assessment for a student, copying from another person and using inappropriate aids. With a competency-based program, their final assessment is everything. It is pass or fail. So even though these are not high stakes in the licensure sense, students do in fact could possibly be taken out of the program if they don't pass these assessments. So they become very important to the student. You know, we have, over the last few years, we have seen a number of colleges reporting the number of cheating incidents that are happening with each university. And so at many of our universities, at the end of the year, when it comes out in the news, the number of cheating events are oftentimes astronomical. And when you think about, on the university side, how is it that we can prevent cheating from taking place? But a lot of it really comes down to the reasons the students cheat. Sometimes they're just, I don't care attitudes. There's pressure in the university to achieve their goals. The institution really doesn't pay attention or slips it under the rug. They don't really understand why students are cheating, and the student self-interest is always a big one. And at this point, I think about students who cheat and I wonder, what are we trying to prevent? I think about a story that I had take place a long time ago with my husband, and I always wondered why he locked our car doors. We went to the grocery store. We had an old car. There was no reason to lock the door. Let him take it and crash it. We didn't care. It was probably worth $400. But I asked him, I'm like, why do we keep locking these doors? Why do we care? And he says, I lock the doors to keep the honest people honest. And when I think about test security in the university, we're not putting security measures in place for the students we know will absolutely try their hardest to hack into our systems, to get a hold of our exams, and to cheat. We're doing it for the students who generally would not cheat on an exam or not cheat on an assessment if they didn't have the opportunity to. So we put these items in place in order to stop them and prevent them from cheating on our assessments. So some of the things that we talk about on the competency side and in the universities are, what are our current security risks? Can people get into our assessments? Is there a way for them to access it? Where do we see the risks the most often? We look back at the last year, the last 2 years, where have we seen breaches? And honestly, probably the biggest breaches is online. Google searching an exam question, Google searching a topic, finding sites that are delivering the content when you put in the University of Phoenix or the University or Harvard University and pulling up what's this exam. Those are the biggest issues that we see out there. And another thing you have to think about, and we think about often, is how are we handling this? Is it something that we're taking a proactive approach to it, or are we being reactive? And how often do we face this risk? Is it every day? Is it every other day? Is it once a quarter? And that really determines how we try to mitigate those damages. Do we have data to back up that cheating is actually happening at the university and a competency program? One of the things that I love about competency education, it is so data-driven. We have data for just about every move a student makes. And so it really gives us the opportunity to focus in on where we see cheating happening and how we can mitigate that from happening again. And of course, what is your mitigation strategy? Once it happens, what do you do next? So here are some of the steps that we are taking. So we're educating ourselves on exam security. And I feel like this is a new concept for a lot of universities taking on competency-based education. In fact, when I talk to a lot of universities about what their security strategies are, they really don't have one yet. They know that they need to have a strategy in place for their competency exams. They know that it's important that the students don't have the exams out there on the internet, but they really don't know how to secure it. They don't know which direction to go in, and they don't know what's most important about securing it. Educating the stakeholders on the importance of exam security. And that's the other position we're in. So now we know in our competency program, we need exam security. We need assessment security. But we need leadership to understand the importance of this too, and what happens if our exams or assessments get out there and people start to cheat on them. Creating a security plan and prioritizing what can be done and when. So this is huge when you're creating a strategy for the university or any exam is having a plan in place. I have found that having it written down with a group of individuals is so important, because then you can reference back to what the decisions have been made and then how you're going to proceed forward. The other big thing that I find probably more difficult than most is how to be proactive rather than reactive. Since a lot of these programs don't currently have a strategy in place, a lot of their current way to deal with theft or cheating is to simply be reactive, to put things into place so that if they catch somebody, they will take action at that point. But they really don't discuss a strategy beforehand, how to put it in the design, how to make it happen as part of the design, and that strategy. And most of all, where security is really needed. If you don't have exams that are online, then proctoring may not be an issue. But for us, proctoring is very important because we want to, again, keep the honest people honest. And that is it for me. I will turn it over to Dave.